Starting broadcasts on YouTube now. Here we go. All right, aloha and welcome everybody once again to another Paradigm Shift Circle. Today's topic discussion is what do dreams teach us? I'm pretty excited about this one. All the discussion topics that we do here within the Paradigm Shift Circles are, again, created as an opportunity for us as a community to be able to practice having discussion, conscious conversations about the things that we don't always get a chance to be able to talk about. So this is really just a space for us to be able to practice speaking from our heart, to practice exploring the ever unfolding metaphysical mysteries around us. So with this topic, I know there's going to be a lot to be able to share. I'll get things rolling and we'll start off by just doing a quick introduction in terms of the intention for the Paradigm Shift Circle, some basic guidelines, and then I'll start sharing on the question. And then from there, anybody who is in the Discord audience right now, please feel free to raise your hand at any moment and we will bring you up on stage to be able to practice sharing. And even if you just want to jump in on stage just for like 5 minutes, that's totally cool. And yeah, we'll just go with the flow here. So as always, these Paradigm Shift Circles, they take place through our Discord. So if you're listening to this in the future on YouTube or on Spotify, make sure you join the Discord and you can tune in for future ones. Currently, they're Fridays at 1 p.m. EDT. That may change in the future, but either way, happy to be able to have you involved in whatever format works for you. So just getting things started here in terms of just a basic introduction. So welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining today's Paradigm Shift Circle. My name is Brendan. I'm your facilitator and co-host for today. And before we get started, here are a few guidelines and reminders. Paradigm Shift Circles are an intentional, sacred digital space created to host inspirational, conscious conversations to nurture our spirits and build community. Circles are sometimes recorded. This one is recorded. At the end of the circle, a screenshot will be taken with the names of those in attendance on the Discord, but you are also welcome to opt out of that if you wish. We will let you know beforehand when the screenshot will be taken. Please respect the instructions of the facilitators of the circle. Please respect the intention of the space. Please respect your fellow members. You're welcome to simply listen in or to speak in the circle. To step on stage and speak in the circle, please use the hand raise button and wait to be brought on stage by a facilitator. Once on stage, please wait for the facilitator's prompt to speak. If you are already on stage and wish to speak next, please blink your microphone by clicking the mute and unmute button a few times and wait for the facilitator's prompt. Circles generally go up to the top of the hour and we will conclude with gratitude at 5 minutes to the hour. Please tell your friends and invite others who may be interested. If you have not already, please feel free to check out the Patreon where you can support with a monthly contribution and join as a leading member in the community to be able to help support these circles, other events, and also be able to get access to exclusive features and perks and events. Thank you so much for joining. And again, if you're looking for past episodes of these circles, you can find all of them on YouTube, Skull Babylon, and Spotify, Paradigm Shift Radio. So thank you guys. And yeah, let's dive into this. So let me just get a drink of water here and here we go. So again, I'll start talking on this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I'm here to practice alongside you guys. And for anybody who wants to be able to go after me, just raise your hand, come up on stage, and feel free to practice sharing. So for those of you on YouTube, do me a favor, drop an 1111 in the chat just to confirm that you guys can hear me okay. I already see the 1111s. Perfect. All right, it's already there. Cool. All right. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, let's practice exploring this topic. So what do dreams teach us? Now, if you've been around the Paradigm Shift Central community, you know that every now and then we do a particular event and podcast called Dream Class. So we really dive deep into the topic of dreams. Just with the summer schedule and everything, we haven't had a dream class recently, though we will have one in the future, absolutely. So it's always fun to be able to go back to the dream topic. This is a topic that I think when we talk about it, not only is it fun to talk about, but it also kind of like encourages us to continue this practice. Because I think diving right into this, what do dreams teach us? Dreams teach us about ourselves. Dreams teach us about the nature of the soul. The dreams reveal to us a bigger mystery that we are a part of. And so within any question that we do here within the Paradigm Shift Circles, again, you know, there's always a question within the question. Well, what are dreams, right? So, okay, what do dreams teach us? That's a great question, but what are dreams, right? So within this question, I think there's a lot to be able to explore. And it's something that me personally, I've been exploring this for years and years. I'm sure many of us have been exploring this. And I think dreams in themselves are this mystery, are this ever unfolding, like, it's like dreams are something that will lead us along a path, but the path never ends. And the goal of the path isn't necessarily to reach a destination, but it's rather to be conscious along the way. So I think dreams are an opportunity to be able to develop a deeper relationship between ourselves and the universe, and to really be able to see the universe as a teacher, and thus in turn to be able to see us as a student. So what do the dreams teach us? Well, if the dreams are teaching us anything, then that means that we are a student. But do we realize we're a student? So again, I'm just going to keep kind of talking on this for a bit, and once somebody else from the audience in the Discord is ready to be able to speak on stage, please feel free to raise your hand at any moment, and we will be happy to be able to bring you up. In the meantime, I'll just be babbling on for a bit, and yeah, thank you again everyone so much for joining. So anybody who wants to speak on after this, go ahead and just raise your hand. And again, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram or YouTube, feel free to join the Discord. Links are in the info and in my profile. So again, with dreams, diving right into this, and I've talked about this before in other broadcasts that we've done, I like to think of dreams as being something almost similar to spiritual technology. Like, it's not like dreams are just something that we just happen to have. It's like, oh, it's just, there's a few ways to look at it, right? Like, and I think both are correct, where, dreams are just kind of a byproduct of the brain. There's something that is essential for the brain to be able to do in order to be able to produce, to like rebuild neurons, to strengthen neural pathways, and to be able to practice learning that we experience in the day within the nighttime, to be able to adapt to our environments and our surroundings. Like at nighttime, way back in the day, dreams would actually be a place where what they would teach us is they would teach us survival traits. They would teach us, like during the day, we would have experiences of hunting and gathering. And then at night, when we would dream, we would literally dream of hunting and gathering, right? Amongst other things, which is a common thing in today's circumstance, where it seems that dreams are populated by whatever we populate our waking life with, and so in many cases, dreams will teach us that what we populate our mind with will ripple into the space of our dreams. So if we populate our mind with fascinations of materialism and kind of like egoic ideals and like all of these like things that we really just want to be able to strive for, that will inflate our ego and just give us all of those beautiful things that will never follow us beyond the physical grave. But it's common for a lot of people to be able to have dreams where they'll dream of fast cars and luxury and like having all of these material possessions, but at the same time, it's like they dream of shows they watch. Like, how many people here have been dreaming of like shows that they've been watching on TV? A common theme within my dreams, probably because I watch a lot of shows about post-apocalyptic scenarios, I'm commonly not even just me, like even Lacey, I know, commonly dreams about post-apocalyptic scenarios. Now, is that just because we're watching things on TV, or maybe there's a deeper meaning to that? But I think, again, as we just kind of dive into this, it's important to really be able to step back and to understand that dreams aren't just simply a byproduct of the brain. They are something that I think is a keyhole to looking at a bigger mystery, and that mystery actually helps us understand a deeper part of who we are. And I think one of the simplest ways to be able to understand what dreams are and what they teach us is to open yourself up to the idea that the dream space is actually closer to where we are from. And so what I mean by that is merrily, life is but a dream. We've all heard this before. Well, what if that's actually more real than we know? In this perspective, it basically opens us up to this idea that before we incarnated into this physical dimension, into this physical reality, the space that we came from was very dream-like. And therefore, there's this idea that, what we exist within is just one layer of a multiplex, holographic, multiple dimensional matrix of dream spaces. And so what are dreams? Dreams, again, are a place where the universe experiences itself. And in different layers of the dream, there seem to be different properties. And so within different properties, there's the ability for us to experience a very powerful lesson. This is a very powerful thing that dreams teach us. If anything, I think it's like one of the most powerful lessons that dreams teach us. They teach us that our reality is a reflection of our mind. Dreams are an immediate, direct experience to be able to firsthand, whether we're conscious or unconscious of it, experience a fact where what we are experiencing on an internal level is reflected into the world around us. Is our environment literally becomes a reflection of our internal state. And therefore, when we change our internal state, we also change the world around us, which is an incredibly powerful and inspiring thing. So I think what dreams have the potential to teach us is the ability to be able to teach us how to become better co-creators, to become better co-creators of this shared dream, to be able to realize, oh wow, the thoughts that I put out are actually creating this dream around me. So this happens when we experience lucid dreaming. When we experience lucid dreaming, if you think of something, it appears in front of you, relatively speaking. You think of an apple appears. You want to go to the pyramids of Egypt, boom, teleport to the pyramids of Egypt. You want to be able to like shoot fireballs and kamehamehas out of your hand? Absolutely, you can do that, so long as your will, focuses towards that intention. And so in that perspective, again, we get to experience firsthand what it's like to be in this aspect of reality that is not as foreign to us as we think, even though we may not necessarily remember it all the time. Again, just as I'm just babbling on here, guys, for anybody else who wants to be able to jump in, please go ahead and raise your hand to be able to come on stage and practice answering this question, to be able to explore, what do dreams teach us? So Campton, I see you raising your hand. I'm just going to finish my thought here, and then I'm going to bring you up and pass it over to you. And anybody else, feel free to raise your hands. And again, we appreciate everybody being here. And this is just practice asking yourself that question. What do dreams teach us? What have dreams taught you? So just to conclude my initial just thought that I was just speaking on, dreams teach us how to be able to wield our mind with intention. I think if in this reality that we are in, there's a good reason that things don't manifest instantaneously. Like it's like the universe still works in that fashion where, call it law of attraction, law of correspondence, whatever the case may be. You resonate, you attract what you are, you attract what you resonate with. It's a vibrational frequency, so you feel it on the inside and it kind of comes into your space, relatively speaking. But again, like if things were to happen instantaneously within this reality, like that'd be dangerous. Like that'd be like giving like a baby a bazooka. Like you don't want to do that, right? So within the dream space, we actually get to experience what it's like to be a quote unquote cosmic baby with a bazooka, and there's no harm in it, right? Like, so dreams are again kind of like this simulation where we get to be able to practice. But this is a key thing, and I'll just say here, the value of dreams is that people will ask, are they real? Well, I say, if you can learn from it, if your soul can grow from it, then that's real. So dreams give us the opportunity to level up, to learn, to grow, to experience deep soul lessons, to heal, to connect, to see the bigger part of who we are beyond this single incarnation. Dreams actually, again, enter into a space where time is a little bit different. You can see beyond the present moment, into the past, into the future. You can see who you are as a cosmic citizen, and open up to a much bigger story. And that's a very powerful thing. There's more to talk on there, but let's bring up Campton. Campton, I'm going to bring you up on stage, and we'll just do a quick microphone check. And then, again, anybody else who wants to be able to speak on stage, go ahead and just raise your hands, and we'll get you guys all set up. So, Campton, welcome on stage. Just do a quick microphone and just say hello real quick.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, test.
Perfect, loud and clear. Campton, welcome to today's circle. And when you're ready, go ahead and share a little bit. What do dreams teach us? Welcome, Campton.
Thank you, Brendan, for that wonderful intro and your thoughts. So this is crazy. I actually had a dream last night where Shaq visited me and told me that it was okay to go for my YouTube channel because, yeah, there's 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds running YouTube channels. Why can't Campton, with his mystical wisdom, do a YouTube channel? I was like, oh, of course. I guess I had to hear it from Shaq for to be able to do this. But I don't know. It's just kind of hilarious that we're having this conversation and that happened to me. So I literally was taught in a dream last night. But as far as what you were saying about the dimensionality of our reality and dreams, it's all kind of a spectrum of reality and existence, and that we can only see so much of the visible light spectrum, or the spectrum of light. And this also goes for hearing. This also goes for intuition and love. It's all a spectrum of the same thing. And these representations that we have, like the electromagnetic spectrum, and I don't know what it's called for listen or hear sound. I don't know what that is, but essentially when we go into a dream or an astral projection state or an altered state, we are navigating that spectrum of consciousness. So when we go into a dream, like a lucid dream, We're putting our body to sleep. We're rescinding all of our energy from our nervous system, which is essentially animating our body with electricity and chemicals and all of that. We're rescinding all of our energy from that. And even the overactivation of the prefrontal cortex, which is where that voice in your head is. It's like where your humanly identity is. And the reason you can perceive that is because synapses are being activated by the light that you really are, an extra dimensional aspect of your light. So chronic overthinkers have energy locked in this area, locked overthinking about things, trying to solve that next thing, using that critical thinking part of our brain for parts of our life that we can unfold into intuitively. We can have this intuitive navigational flow of life and allow the higher mechanics of the universe to work on us. And when we listen to that, we can unfold into life naturally. Now, the part of the ego that we're identified with is this massive complex of subconscious machinations in our psychology, which in certain levels of the dream world play out as symbolic themes like the ocean of emotions, or being naked in the classroom, right, which is a representation of your vulnerability and things like that. So there are very heavy themes within the dream world that can help us understand our psychology and the work that needs to be done internally to navigate real life. So in a way, dreams teach us about ourselves through the symbology if we're willing to interpret that. I mean, imagine going back to that traumatic scenario in your life in full detail. Everything, the same imprint, right? You would wake up from that dream and you would be catatonic. Catatonic. You would be out of your wits if you had to go back there and experience it the exact same way. But if you were able to get a whisper of the themes, you would be able to gently parse through your psychology and start to work on those damaged factors like confidence and speaking ability and manifesting your dreams or going for your artistic craft, right? So dreams teach us about our own psychology. And the more metaphysical, paranormal, esoteric side of this is the whole concept that I love working with is this body, this current experience that we're having is our next best guess as how to dwell within eternity. Okay, so infinity implies that there's infinite time to do everything. So I think these little 95-year shots of complex stories with other beings, apparent other beings, is a fantastically novel way to dwell within eternity, because you're forgetting about your infinite power, you're taking everything off of the table, you're hearing just one voice, and you're working with just the infinite capabilities in this machine. So dreams teach us to not underestimate our capabilities, to not underestimate ourselves as an individuation of infinity. And when we present our ego with this information, with this concept, it can become incredibly difficult to wrap our head around it, of course, because our ego is used to saying, I'm incapable, I am less than, and specifically, I'm incapable, because you are not. Literally, the intelligent force of the universe made you. You didn't do that. The ego didn't do that. Something way more grand than you made you. And now you're saying you're incapable. But really, you're being trained as to how to use that in your own personality, in the things that you create, and going into the dream world, experimenting with that, experimenting with these concepts and what dreams mean to us can really round out our psychology and give us a more fantastical experience of life. So that's all I really have to share. Thanks, Brendan.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Campton, so much. I'll just reply and speak on this for a little bit more. In the meantime, though, again, anybody who is in the Discord audience, please feel free to raise your hand. You guys are welcome to come up on stage at any moment. Again, this space is created for us to be able to practice sharing from our heart on these metaphysical topics. So yeah, again, Campton, I love everything you said there. And it's interesting because, again, you look at all the different religions and spiritual practices throughout the world, and they all have their own relationship to dreams. And I think if you really want to learn what dreams teach us, look to the past. Look to the Aboriginal cultures, look to Hinduism and all these places that have held such reverence for dreams, and why do they hold this place within their practices for how important dreams are. And again, within the space of the dreams, this is a space where many different cultures would speak about the ability to be able to commune with other beings, to commune with other parts of ourselves, to commune with ancestors, to commune with deities. So again, it's kind of like when you start looking at life as this metaphor that's very similar to technology and video games. It's like, here we are, we're in this reality, kind of like it's more almost like an internet metaphor. We're in one area of the internet, we're in one server, but you tap into the dreams and you can tap into like this much bigger part of the internet, which literally connects to all of these other pieces of information. Within these pieces of information, you can tap into all the different fractals of the collective hive mind. And so, within the process of doing this, like, this gives you the ability to really be able to, as Campton was speaking about, it's this journey of awakening. It's this journey of awakening to lucidity. It's this journey of clarity. It's this journey of the aha. It's the journey of the Atman returning to the Brahman. And so again, this idea that what dreams also teach us is they teach us that all is us. All is what it is. And so you experience this within dreams where the reality around you is not only a reflection of you, but you also understand that the beings, the pieces that you interact with, they're fractals of you. And so I think, dreams in themselves, as mysterious as they are, they're not this thing where it's just kind of like, oh, every dream can be explained in the same way. I think there's layers within the dream experience. There's different realms. Like, you literally, like, how freaking crazy and beautiful is it to really just be able to practice wrapping your head around the idea that every single night when we are dreaming as a multidimensional being, we are traveling through these other parallel reality, multidimensional spaces through our astral body, through our astral form. And with it, different spaces have different characteristics to it. You've got higher realms as well as lower realms. You can enter into either of those realms, and there's opportunities and lessons to behold. That's where, a lot of the times when people look at what dreams teach us in terms of nightmares and things like that, oftentimes the nightmare, it won't simply just be like, hey, like, sorry, you've got a nightmare, guess you got the short end of the stick. No, it's actually more like the universe is like, hey, we're running you through this experience to be able to help you in reclaiming your power, to be able to help you know that, the darkness can be transmuted through the light that you carry within. Oh, that boogeyman who's standing across the side of the room, yeah, you could turn him into like a little like teddy bear if you wanted to, through the will of your mind, through the will of your heart. And so oftentimes, in dreams, just knowing that we have this ability and have this potential to claim our power, to claim our sovereignty, to practice the ability to will reality through our thoughts, is so epic. And so again, what do dreams teach us are always going to be a unique reflection to where we are. And I think, in short, it's like dreams teach us what we need to be taught, and that's going to be different at different points of our lives. And there are going to be dreams where they just kind of seem like remedial and mundane, and you're just like, I don't know, why was I wearing bananas on my feet? What does that mean? Like, I have no freaking idea. Like, I there's good luck interpreting that one, whatever that means. Though I'm sure you could. It's like, oh, maybe you're slipping around or something like that. I don't know. Banana shoes. That's crazy. Dream logic, right? Mason, I can see you raising your hand. We're gonna bring you up here as soon as I finish my rant about banana shoes. No, I'm just kidding. So, but anyways, yeah. Again, I think learning about what dreams teach us is such a personal thing. And being open to that is so powerful. But I would say, on a surface level, looking into dreams teaches us about our multidimensional reality. And a lot of people, like, if you were to tell them, be like, you're a multidimensional being, they'd be like, I don't know what that means, prove it. And then you could be like, well, have you heard of lucid dreaming? Have you experienced a dream before where you did XYZ? And they'll be like, oh, actually I have. I'm a human being, I dream. So, last thing I'll just say here, and then I'll bring Mason on. Having these discussions is so important because, honestly, dreaming is a lost art. I think back to that scene from Waking Life, a beautiful movie all about dreams and lucid dreaming and everything like that. And it's like, like the art of dreaming it's a lost art. Not a lot of people practice it. And in many cases, you look at how serious it is. Like, man, like, people's dreams have basically been stolen from them. They've been hijacked. Their ability to dream has been hijacked. If you look at a lot of people in the world right now, like, because of food processing, technology, blue lights and everything, EMFs, all this stuff, a lot of people, if you were to ask them, would be like, I don't dream, or my relationship with my dream is very sporadic, what does it look like when you develop an intentional conscious relationship with your dream, and every night you have the ability to be able to enter into the dream with this intention to be able to ask yourself, hey, what am I going to learn tonight? Show me what I need to see. Ancestors, show me what I need to see. And to open your heart to that, and to be able to wake up in the next morning and to have these like fantastical experiences that become a part of your story. So your story, dreams teach us, that there is more to our story. Dreams teach us that there is the story that we have within this physical reality, but there is also the story that is taking place on this multidimensional aspect of our soul life. And a big part of that is our dream space. So if you're not really engaged with your dreams, and if you're not, that's okay. Like, it's not like oh, you're doing it wrong or something. It's different for everybody. And there are going to be periods of our life where, for whatever reason, we won't remember our dreams. Sometimes it's just like that. The universe is like, hey, you need to focus on the physical reality. Don't worry about it. Your dreams will come back later. But when you develop that intentional relationship, you have this ability to really be able to open yourself up to some psychedelic, very powerful, transformational experiences. So dreams have the ability to not only teach us, but also to transform us and to help us become more who we're here to be. Mason, I'm going to bring you up on stage, and we'll just do a quick sound check, and then we'll pass it over to you. So Mason, just bringing you up, and go ahead and say hello and test your microphone.
Testing. Hello.
Perfect. Awesome. Mason, happy to be able to have you here. And when you're ready, go ahead and share, what do dreams teach us?
All right. Thank you, Brendan. I first just want to drop some gratitude for this space and for this community. In relation to dreams, especially, this community has sparked so much growth upon my dreams, and engaging in these discussions and dream classes in the past have definitely sparked my dream experiences. And it's almost like it's a really powerful catalyst for what I've experienced in the dream space. So yeah, just speaking on what dreams like mean to me and what they can teach us, I think it's almost like a glimpse of your higher self. It's a reflection of who you are, but at a higher level, your higher self is giving you almost like a download, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, helping you with improving physical health state, mental health state. There's lots to learn from dreams, and there's so many different reflections. And I want to just share, recently I've been very into like the night sky. I've been observing the moon and learning the constellations and how the sky is actually shifting around us each night, and how it orbits as the days go on, as the months go on. And I've actually been having a lot of dream experiences where I'm observing the night sky within the dream. And that's just been incredible. I've been trying to document as much as I can, but it's definitely led me along my path, and I'm like further looking into telescopes now and researching how they work, what they do, what I can do with them. And yeah, it's just, I wanted to come on and say thank you for this space. I definitely know that engaging in these conversations is a really powerful catalyst for me in my dreams. So I want to thank you all for listening, and excited to hear what everyone else has to say. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mason. Happy to be able to have you here. And Campton, when you want to go next, just go ahead and blink your microphone, and I'll be more than happy to be able to pass it back to you. And again, in the meantime, we'll bring Jessica is actually coming up on stage. So Jessica, we'll bring you up, and anybody else who's in the Discord audience, again, please feel free to raise your hand and come up on stage. Even if you're just like, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, or I'm a little bit nervous, like, that's okay. No worries. We're here to practice. And again, this is a space where you can just kind of listen to your heart and just speak on it and practice sharing your experience, practice sharing some wisdom, whatever the case may be. So we'll keep going. We'll keep an eye on the time. We got about probably about like 25 more minutes, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up. So Jessica, we're going to bring you up on stage, and Atlas, I see you raising your hand, so we'll bring you up after Jessica. So Jessica, just taking a moment here to bring you up. We'll just do a quick microphone check. And Jessica, just go ahead and say hello.
Check.
Perfect. All right, Jessica. Yep, we can hear you. Welcome on stage. And when you're ready, go ahead and share. What do dreams teach us?
First off, I want to, give some gratitude to thank you so much for these awesome conversations you lead, Brendan. Over the past like 10 years, I really haven't dreamt much at all. I obviously have been on medication over the past 10 years. So trying to come off of that medication this year, and also changing my diet and consistently drinking tons of water over this year, has really, really opened my mind to dreams a lot more than, over the past years. Um, but overall, I think that, you know, becoming more and more lucid in my dreams has really led me to believe that dreams are really lessons. They are just lessons for us to learn about ourselves. A lot of the dreams that I've had this year, ranged from whimsical, sexual, nightmarish, and just plain confusing. Um, Last night, the reason why I'm speaking right now is last night I dreamt of being a homeless person in a Taco Bell and found a blade of grass in my nachos. So I looked the symbolism up just now, and being a homeless person in a dream could mean that you are worried or anxious about it listed several different things, but I actually have to go back to work in about a month after being off since March of last year. So, just rethinking my life, rethinking my career, rethinking, who I actually am, what I want to do, what I want to enjoy doing the rest of my life. So, that kind of stress has been overtaking me over this month. And so it kind of made sense because, it's coming down to the wire of going back to work and making a decision on what I'm going to do. So, yeah, but I looked up the blade of grass, and it meant several different things, but yeah, it was just, I overall I think that they are just lessons. And I've been trying to keep up with my dreams and write them down and everything, because I'll go weeks without having a dream, or a dream that I actually remember. And then, a week will hit where I dream every single day. So it's just gradually working back into my consciousness, I guess, to be able to dream and actually start becoming more lucid. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. I think that for me, there are lessons to be learned, because it really helps me kind of look into myself and who I am and my personality overall. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you again, Jessica, for being here and for sharing. And yeah, again, so much. I love just being able to hear people speak about their dreams. And I know it's such a personal thing. So I appreciate everybody, again, just being in a space where you're sharing as much as you're comfortable with. And obviously this conversation can go much, much, much deeper. But at the end of the day, we hope it inspires and encourages you to just start bringing a little bit more attention to your dream practice. And again, that's something we'll talk a little bit more about as we go. Atlas, we're going to bring you up on stage, and then Belize will bring you up on stage after that. So Atlas, we're just going to bring you up, and we'll just do a quick microphone check, and then we'll pass it over to you. And anybody else who wants to raise their hand, please feel free to do so. So once we get Atlas up here, we'll pass the talking stick over to them. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. And yeah, if you guys are looking for more in the dream discussions, definitely stay tuned for Dream Class. We'll be doing those once we get the schedule back in check. So Atlas, I'm not sure if it's connecting properly for you. I think sometimes it's just glitching. So go ahead and maybe just try joining and rejoining. And oh, okay, I think it's working now. Atlas, go ahead and just test your microphone. Make sure we can hear you okay. And try it again with the unmute. We'll just give it 1 second here. And yeah. All right, Atlas.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Okay, perfect. Atlas, welcome on stage. Thank you for joining us once again. And when you're ready, go right ahead and share. What do dreams teach us?
Well, I want to share gratitude for everyone, and I'm at work, so it's going to be very bad sound quality, and I can't talk for very long. But I wanted to bring up just a fun little theory that I have. And my theory is that when we are sleeping, our soul gets to speak. And so our soul speaks with the other friends' souls or other souls that our souls know. And I've experienced this with all of my friends. My dreams answer their questions, and their dreams answer my questions. And that's pretty much all I can say right now, because we're pretty busy and I have to go. But thank you so much for letting me voice that. It's like I'm almost shaking because I needed to say that out loud. Thank you for letting me use my voice.
Thank you, Atlas. I'm glad you were able to join in, and even if it's just for a minute, it's equally appreciated. And And yes, absolutely. Again, one thing that can come up here within this discussion is just the amazing phenomena that happen within dream. One of those being the idea of shared dreaming, being able to connect as soul within other dreams. So kind of going back to the wisdom of the Aboriginals. Again, they talk about dreams as being a shared space. I think Western society often kind of teaches us this idea that our dreams are just something local within our brain, within inside of our skull. They just happen. Your dreams are your dreams. My dreams are my dreams. They don't overlap. It doesn't work like that. But within the ancient and I think now, as we're more just kind of opening ourselves up to a bigger understanding, we can begin to not only see but also experience this idea that, again, the dreams, when we enter into dreams, we're entering into a shared space. So very much kind of like entering into a server within a video game or an internet chat room, where despite the distance between you and your friends, you can connect. And it's fascinating. And I'll just say this, and we'll bring up Belize, and sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I know I did last time as well, and Campton will bring you up as well, where one of the reasons why I love having these discussions about dreams is, again, also just paving the way for the future. What would it look like if a bunch of us were to really focus on our dreams? And what does that look like in 5 years, 10 years? What would it look like if an entire civilization were to really develop a deep relationship within their dreams? And then within the dream space, they're creating things that they're literally materializing into this reality. Like they would imagine creating like a new temple within the dream space, create it like a video game and building it and everything like that. And then they're like, oh, that's it. And then they bring it into this reality. So what do the dreams teach us? One thing is, whatever materializes within this physical reality begins within those higher dimensional planes. So it begins in the dream space is the realm of the imagination. It's the realm of the magi, the wizard. We are the wizards. So when you can like feel and imagine things within the dream space with intention, you can actually use the dream space as an intentional work board as an artist and as a creator to be able to play almost like a like a virtual reality game, and then to be able to be like wake up and be like, aha, eureka, let's bring this into this reality. And we hear about that all the time with inventors and musicians, like Tesla and Mozart and everyone. They would dream these things and then they would bring them into this reality. So dreams are oftentimes the foreshadow for reality still to come. So all right, Belize, I'm going to bring you up and we'll do a quick microphone test, and then Campton will bring you up right after that. And anybody else who wants to join in, please feel free to raise your hand. And we'll keep an eye on the time, but we'll go a little bit further if we need to, just based on the hype around this discussion. So Belize, we're just going to bring you up and we'll just do a quick microphone check. So once you're connected there, go ahead and just say hello, and we will pass it over to you in a second. So go ahead and say hello, please.
How can I make it like in say speaker? I can't
Oh,
right now. It's
can
on
you
phone.
can you hear us okay? We can hear you fine. So
Okay, I need to do it like a cell phone, I guess. Hi.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you. So
great.
when you're ready, we'll pass it over to you, and thank you again for joining. And what do dreams teach us?
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon, for the space again. I haven't been a long time, but thank you for opening this. And I think it's like becoming more, reaching to more people, and that's awesome. Thank you for that. About dreams, I used to get into shamanic rhythm and stuff, and we were talking about lucid dreaming and stuff like that. At that time, I was able to wake up in some dreams and change the reality, but like I wasn't being so creative in the dream, and sometimes even I wanted to create something. It was like I wanted to create food for my my relative, and it was just like dead plastic fish. It was so different. And then but right now, like I'm not really remembering a lot of dreams, but sometimes I do. And sometimes I just wake up not remembering anything, but just with a realization. Just I got the essence of it, and it can affect. I do wake up and learn something from them. I guess even today I had some things, and it's really interesting. But I'm not like, why don't I remember some dreams, and sometimes I do, and from this conversation, I really want to get into the dream space, but I think not quite deep unconscious mind, because I have seen a dream that it was so horrific. Like I was even woke up and I was traumatized by the dream. I was shaking, and I don't know how it would affect my here life, waking life. Um, I don't know. I mean, if you want to speak on this, I would be really grateful if it can open something up in me. Thank you.
Thank you again for sharing. Again, I think with any of the dream practices, it really begins with the intention, the intention to be able to develop that relationship, and I think a lot of it is also, again, just kind of, we practice for our relationship with dreams the moment we wake up, and simple things such as obviously keeping a dream journal, but just being mindful of how we go to sleep, going to sleep with a little bit of a meditation or a little bit of a journaling or a prayer or whatever it means to you, where you're just basically kind of like putting out that intention to, your guides, your ancestors, your guardians, whatever you connect to in terms of you and in the bigger part of yourself, the universe, and just kind of opening your heart to that. And like you said, even if you don't fully remember your dreams, I agree. I think on a soul level, it's always being received, it's always being encoded. But obviously part of the journey, and I'll just speak on this, and Campton, I'll bring you on in 2 seconds, where can we begin to use the dream space to really begin to merge the awareness of this higher dimensional aspect of ourselves into this 3D reality. And I think, in many cases, for any of you practicing your dreams, I think with dreams in themselves, it's important to acknowledge that like anything, literally like anything, there is the light and there is the dark, there is the light and there is the shadow, and so dreams in themselves are neutral. And I think they have the potential to be incredibly like uplifting and inspiring. And at the same time, there may be dreams that may be very uncomfortable and unsettling. And perhaps in that moment, we may be like, whoa, like, I don't like that. I don't understand why that was there. But, down the road, maybe that in itself was also kind of like leaving the breadcrumbs to be able to give you the courage to return back into that space in order to be able to receive gifts yet to come. Knowing that not every single dream is going to be, like something incredibly uncomfortable, but life is like that. You wake up every day, you don't really know what's going to happen. So I think through the practice of studying dreams, there is this, what's worth acknowledging, this act of courage, this act of bravery within each of us, because we're stepping into an unknown. We're literally entering into the shadow space within ourselves. We're going inside, and what we find there, sometimes may be unsettling, but at the same time, in the process of seeing it is also the process of again being able to bring consciousness to it. And that's where, again, oftentimes what can be, this goes not just for dreams but for any aspect of life, what can be like oftentimes the most challenging experience eventually lead us to bigger aspects of our story, lead us to gifts, point us in new directions. So I think when we do have those experiences that are often unsettling, it's important to develop a relationship with them that may be almost kind of like compartmentalized and not dissociated, but just kind of more approaching it from a higher perspective of curiosity, and just kind of being like, well, how did that make me feel? Like, what, like where does that fit within my story right now? Is it relative? And to not really feel as if we constantly need to get sucked back into those spaces, but just to kind of say like, okay, that was a dream, I'm just going to kind of like let it go, and then just kind of practice letting it go and moving on, knowing that there are greener pastures ahead. And again, moving through, like, I think within the dream practice, and I'll just say this, and I'll pass it to Campton, absolutely, like there are going to, just like life, there are going to be times where we're going to be going towards a goal and life is going to throw us a curveball and it's going to scare the shit out of us. And then in the process of doing that, life is also asking you, do you want to keep going forward? Do you really want this? Or do you want to turn around? And we have that choice to say, you know what? I don't want to do it. I changed my mind. And that's okay. Whatever choice you make has meaning to it. But at the same time, if you can see the dreams and the nightmares and the discomfort as a chance to be able to meet it with courage, to rise and to transmute it, and to be able to look back and say like, whoa, like this took a little bit of courage, and I acknowledge that within myself. And I think if you do that, the universe will acknowledge that. And I think for each and every single one of us, there are beautiful gifts within the dream space just waiting for us. There is a ton of love waiting for us in the dream space. So I think just knowing that that's there, knowing that there's a party with your name on it, can sometimes just to help alleviate a little bit of the anxiety associated with dreams, and just approach it as a practice, and obviously having a community to be able to talk about it, I think, is one of the most important things, knowing that it's not something that you just have to keep fully inside of yourself, but sometimes literally just talking about a dream that might be not a pleasant experience can help move that energy. So yeah, that's all part of the journey of what it teaches us, I think. And dreams are, again, teaching us that we're not alone, and this is something that we're all experiencing and learning together, and none of us have all the answers, but together we may not have it all, but together we have it. Like, there's a better way of saying it. It's like, we may not have it all together, but we have it all, something like that. Anyways, we're all piecing together the parts of the puzzle. Campton, I'm going to bring you back up on stage. Anybody else who want to be able to speak after Campton, just go ahead and blink your microphone at some point, and then we'll get close to just some closing thoughts, and then we'll be done for today. So Campton, just go ahead and test your microphone, make sure we can still hear you. I'm sure it's fine.
Testing 1 2.
Perfect. All right, Campton, passing it right back over to you. Welcome back.
All right. Thank you, Brendan, and thank you everybody for sharing. I feel very safe here, very accepted, and I'm glad we all share that mutual bond with these metaphysical concepts and emotions and whatnot. So essentially, consciousness is everything, as I was talking about earlier. So when we go into the dream world, this is a different state of consciousness for consciousness, right? So I do have to explain that consciousness pours into this body, and then an identity forms. So every night that we go to sleep, when we put the body to sleep, we're essentially dying, because there's a gap in experience. You were gone, or what you thought was you was gone. And this is the main part of mastering dreams and really learning from them, really going to that next level of personal education. So this is also the mastery of magic, spelled with a CK at the end. And magic is the utilization of consciousness. It's condensifying it, in the way that material objects form. Like, matter is consciousness, as I said, and the earth is part of the dream. It is dream, protons and not protons, dream particles of the same consciousness. So when we're learning to use magic, we're learning to use our portion of infinity to do something. And this is magic. Magic is making something from that external world real, right? The iPhone wouldn't exist without LSD and yoga, because Steve Jobs would do magic. He would do these practices, and he would take LSD and have these phenomenal dreams and ideas and everything like that about all the components that go into the phone, and he would make it. And part of his ego and part of that ambition, the sheer power of these ideas, caused a bit of disruption in this social sphere that he was in. So in a way, dreams can teach us too much, right? We can have too much power, and it can cloud our spirit. It can get wedged in our ego. I wanted to bring up something that I believe Belize mentioned as to how to get there, and I'll leave that for the workshop, but essentially it has to do with that dying part, with accepting that you aren't this body, that when you go into a dream, you're going away and out. So the fundamental acceptance of that, it's difficult because we have to look at the fear of releasing our identity, the fear of releasing our emotions and ideas and attachments to this earthly plane, right? Because that's where suffering comes from, is we are in this body and we are attached to circumstances needing to happen, certain emotions that we feel inside, certain capabilities within us. But literally what allows us to move forward is by giving up the pursuit entirely. Because that dream world flow, that flow of consciousness, that flow of infinity and intelligence is you. And it's at the ready. And this ego, this story in our brain, we continually activate with this energy. And because we care about it, we want to be here. We want to be humans. I don't think we want to suffer. But we can do phenomenal things with magic and dreams, because everything is one thing. And this is where healing comes in. This is where astral projection abilities come in. This is where everything under the sun comes in. And really the fundamental practice of it all is meditation, returning to that state of pure apathetic awareness and allowing ideas to flow in, allowing yourself to be healed, because that's where our beliefs are. Our beliefs are in our flesh, and consciousness isn't allowed to flow through that barrier in our nervous system, in our brain, because we are holding on to an identity and we aren't admitting that we were hurt. We're not admitting that we may not be as confident as we want to be. We're admitting that we're not the level of that we want to be, and that there's something that we have to do about that, right? We're running away from the need, from the necessitation to do something about our pain, to do something about our feelings. So when we're going in dreams, we're learning about how to master consciousness, all right? Master our position within infinity, the great existence, the great creation. And it is great, the capital G great. This is it. You're existing, you're alive. This is so incredibly phenomenal, right? The lackluster ideology comes from the limited perspective, the limited scope of our ego and our social structure and our still evolving species and society. And you, the selfless being that you are, you came here to suffer as the terms and conditions for your dreams, to be able to wake people up faster than it took you to wake up, and to heal people and love them more than they ever have been. So dreams teach us everything. This is a dream. It's all dreams, varying levels of that.
Beautifully said. Campton, thank you so much for adding your perspectives and insight and wisdom. And yeah, like I get excited talking about dreams, and this will not be the last time that we talk about dreams. And the question of what do they teach us is, again, a question, as with any of these questions that we explore here through the Paradigm Shift Circles. We encourage you to continue this conversation. Take it with you. Ask other people, ask your friends, hey, what do dreams teach us? What do dreams teach you? What do you think about dreams? You know, these conversations are something that I think everybody has insight to be able to explore within their own heart. So I invite you to continue to explore this, even if you're just listening to this. You know, take some time. What do dreams teach us? So we'll just go around one more time with any just closing thoughts as well as gratitude, and then we will wrap it up for today. So Atlas, Jessica, Belize, if either of you would like to be able to just share any gratitude or closing thoughts, now would be the time to do it. And please feel free to, you can just blink your microphone or unmute your microphone. Either way, we'll pass it over to you. So Jessica, we'll pass it over to you, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up after that. So Jessica, go right ahead.
Checking, check. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm so grateful for all of you all. I've all super high points in my life. Don't think that
Your phone's coming through a little bit choppy right now. I'm not sure if you can adjust something real quick.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a bit better. Go ahead.
Sorry. You all have just brought me to a point in my life that I really don't believe I would be at if it weren't for all of you. I'm just so grateful for all of these conversations and talks that we do throughout the weeks. Can't thank you all enough. But I do have one question. How is it possible to dream something and someone physically touch you or hit you or bite you in a dream and you wake up from that? How is it possible that you can actually feel that bite or whatever physical touch it was? How is that possible? Can anybody answer that?
I mean, just on short, you know, I think it is quite fascinating, whether or not I have an answer for this, just to be able to observe the fact that yes, within dream space, we do experience our senses, our five senses, and oftentimes, you know, like more than those senses. So, you know, it kind of, if anything, it opens up this idea of maybe, you know, perceiving that how we associate our senses within this physical reality may not be all there is. And there seems to be something that's deeply interrelated to you know, the experience of consciousness, where senses and everything are something non-local to the physical body. So that's all I can really say for it, you know, in terms of like how, like, you know, like I think I think it is also a part of the process where, you know, within the brain, it's triggering similar responses that, even as you're sleeping there, you could literally like, experience, when you're, it's basically this idea that if you're dreaming or you're imagining that you're like running, then like within your brain, like there's no difference between that and actually running, so to speak. Campton, I know you unmute your mic. Do you want to just maybe add some insight on this?
It was a quick thought to that. So you actually hit it on the nail really at the end there. It is in our brain, right? A pain signal is just electricity firing through your nerves and telling your brain to then feel. So it's a response within the brain, and the varying levels of the dream, like you can be at a very gross level of the dream where you're just in that dream world, and then you can have a lucid dream, then astral projection, and then you can go to higher realms, which like nirvana and like pure enlightenment and one with source and things like that. So it is your brain. It's your brain waking you up and telling you you're feeling something. It's just a survival mechanism. That's why we jerk in our sleep. That's why all these things happen. That's why our body paralyzes itself intentionally so that we don't act out our dreams, because our dreams are playing on the synapses that have created our model of reality. So yeah, you hit it on the head, Brendan. I don't think it's that phenomenal either. Like you can feel pain. Like again, we are all matter, consciousness, whatever. So when something happens to you in a dream, it technically is happening, and our brain interprets it in very different ways.
Thank you, Campton. Yeah, again, quite fascinating, and yeah, that's kind of interesting observation that there's an aspect of our brain where basically it shuts off the motor functions, because otherwise we literally would act out what we're experiencing within our dreams. But sometimes that happens when it carries over. But interesting question, Jessica, and I hope that at least just gives some basic insight towards that, though I'm sure it could go a little bit deeper.
Yep. Thank you all.
Thank you again, Jessica. Okay, just getting close to wrapping it up here. Again, just any closing thoughts and gratitude. We'll pass it around one more time. So for anybody else, Atlas, please, or Campton, please. Yeah, go ahead. We'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, I just want to say something. I'm so grateful for you opening up the space and letting us speak in every kinds of vibration. I'm so grateful for you to be able to be in this power to accept all of us in this space, and I'm so grateful for me to choose to come up to these spaces, and I'm so grateful for my existence, that I'm keeping going, whatever. And I'm so grateful that I created a space for my house and a cat, and I'm fixing things with my boyfriend and trying to be present more, just forgetting about the past. I'm so grateful for the people that I'm with that are coming into my life, and I'm so grateful that I'm being in my body and then attracting them as well. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you again, and thank you everyone for joining us. And Atlas, go ahead. We'll pass it over to you, and then Campton, any closing words, and then we'll be done for today.
Okay, sorry about the sound quality again, and this is just a quick thought, because everybody is saying such bright information, and it's making my mind tick, and my mind's a little different from other people's minds, but the thing where my mind goes is REM sleep. We're free, completely free. Our thinking mind does not exist when we are in REM sleep. And to me, that sounds like how they say that we just want to be. Is it samadhi or samadhi or something like that? It's just a pure place of being free. Our souls speak through our souls. I feel like all of my guides, my team, and angels and everybody can speak to me when I'm in REM sleep. So the messages, they seem a little weird, because then when we wake up, our thinking mind tries to process this stuff. And we can't even rationalize or think of things with our human thoughts in our human mind. But I thank you again for everybody. This is awesome. But I'm at work and I have to go. Sorry about that. Thanks.
Thank you again, Atlas, and no worries, the sound quality was fine. And we'll pass it over to Campton, and then we'll take a quick screenshot, and then I'll do some closing notes, and then we'll be done for today. Campton, go ahead. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm super grateful for the individuals who gather here to talk about these subjects. It's an incredible honor. It's an incredible honor to be amongst you, and so very brave for everyone who shared. And I think going forward, I have a lot more faith in the oncoming and currently going, I guess, revolution in consciousness in these spaces. So, and then a specific shout out to our local hood Spider-Man, or local neighborhood Spider-Man, for putting on these things and being so avid and creating this safe space for individuals like us to, to feel safe and feel heard and feel loved. And yeah, it's a wonderful push for all of us going forward to yeah, continue to master our own consciousness in what they call the long dream. So thank you, everyone.
Yes, the long dream, this beautiful long dream that we are in. So Campton, thank you again. And for those of you listening to this in the future, if you guys aren't already following Campton, check Campton out on Instagram, campton.live, and Campton's World on TikTok. Is it still Campton's World on TikTok? Is that correct?
It's got live on both. Yeah, Campton.live.
On both? Okay, cool, sweet,
Yeah,
perfect. Awesome. Thank you, dude, as well. And yeah, we'll just wrap it up here. And again, I think this is one of those topics where we're really just scratching the surface. That's the beauty of it. This is, again, something that we encourage you to continue to explore. There's obviously a lot more to be able to talk about. If you really enjoyed this discussion, I would encourage you to go check out the Dream Class podcast that we have. It's all available through our Spotify, Paradigm Shift Radio. Just scroll back a bit. You'll be able to find them there. And there's some going all the way back to like 2014, 15, and plus other episodes of the Paradigm Shift Circles, which I think we've recorded some really awesome conversations. So if you just enjoy listening and hanging out with us here in these circles and being a part of the discussions, even if you're just tuned in from the future, then yeah, go check out some of the past episodes and plug those in while you mow the lawn or do some yoga or whatever else you're doing that you invite us into your reality to be a part of. So yeah, in terms of the theme, I think this is what do dreams teach us? They teach us that life is an incredibly beautiful, magical mystery, and even if we don't fully understand it, at the very least, we can understand that we are a part of the magic that it is. So that's a big part of what dreams at least teach me and I think teach many of us. So with that said, we'll just do a quick screenshot within the Discord. For those of you in the Discord on stage, please feel free to stay on stage. I'm just going to do a quick screenshot. We'll post this into our social media afterwards, so feel free to just stay here for 2 seconds, then we'll just do closing notes. If you would like to opt out of the screenshot, please feel free to leave the channel now, and I'll do it in 5 seconds. 5, 4. Perfect. All right, so just closing notes. We'll be back here again for another Paradigm Shift Circle. I think for the time being, at least, we'll stick to the Friday schedule, 1 p.m. EDT. And we got lots of other stuff happening within the Paradigm Shift community. If you're listening to this ahead of the August 8th Lionsgate date, we got a special broadcast that evening at 7 p.m. EDT. That's going to be a special panel discussion with members of the community, as well as a special story-guided meditation, which will be co-collaborated with Uni Agape, who some of you will recognize, and more of those events will be coming in the future, and those will be kind of like meditative lucid dream experiences, which will be really cool. I'm looking forward to getting back into doing some more meditations for you guys. And yeah, we got awesome stuff happening within the Discord, other community members hosting their events, so be sure to keep an eye on the Discord. And again, if you want to be able to help support these events, feel free to either just check out my PayPal, send some energy that way, or also consider joining on the Patreon as a monthly member, and you can get involved with other exclusive events through the community. We got some flow tree workshops that I'll be doing in the coming Thursday. We got our Conscious Media Creator Dojos. You can check out the recordings for those. And yeah, lots of other awesome stuff still to come. So all the links you need are in the info for this video on YouTube. And thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this community and for continuing the discussions and for continuing to be the dreamers awakening within the dream. So we are the dream awakening to itself. I think that's a big part of what it teaches us. So those of you still on stage, please feel free to join me in just saying thank you. And until next time, to all the beautiful people who are tuned in. So feel free to unmute your microphone and say, make some noise and say until next time. So thank you, everybody. We love you guys. Until next time. We love you guys. Keep dreaming. Woo! Write down your dreams. Woo! All right. Thanks again, everyone. Much love. Keep it shifty and welcome to the future.